I was going to wear a cowboy hat for this opener because I thought it would be a fun way to, dress up for the occasion, but the hat wouldn't fit on my head. So here we are. Right. Yeah. Anyway, it's Oklahoma. The original play that this is based off of premiered in 1943. However, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about just the film. So, all you need to know for right now is that this film premiered in 1955, was directed by Fred Zinnemann, and stars Gordon McRae, Gloria Graham, Gene Nelson, Charlotte Greenwood, Rod Steiger, Eddie Albert, James Whitmore, and Shirley Jones in her film debut. All right, it opens with a cowboy feeling lucky walking through a cornfield on the way to Aunt Eller's house. He's going to woo Lori with a souped up wagon, but she's already going to this party later tonight with Judd, who maybe murdered 3 people. Will returns from Kansas City with tales of hooligans and shenanigans. Ada Winnie is flirting with Allie Hackham because puberty hit her like a ton of bricks, and her daddy may be a farmer, but she's sowing a lot more wild oats than him. Anyway, there's a big charity social auction thing with Doohickey to raise money for a new schoolhouse later tonight, and everybody stops at Aunt Eller's house to get ready for that. And Curly tries making Lori jealous with turntables. That doesn't work, so he goes to confront Jed and maybe suggest that Judd, his name is Judd, not Jed, he maybe suggests Judd commit suicide just a little bit. And then Lori has a fever dream with interpretive dancers and murder and dance hall music. And Judd has got to go. And Judge gets overly friendly with Lori on the way to the dance. So she cries stranger danger and abandons him by the side of the road after they almost get hit by a train. And then there's a dramatic confrontation and fight between Judd and Curly, with results in simmering tension and hatred. And Lori realizes her ways are foolish, and Curly realizes that he's foolish, and they love each other, and they decide to get married. The two comical characters decide they love each other too, and they got to stop being wild party animals and sowing wild oats, because that's the big takeaway for them. Anyway, so Curly and Lori get married and are very excited at the prospect of being in the state of Oklahoma once it becomes a state, because it's not a state yet. Judd finally gets somebody hot and bothered. And then Curly jumps on him, and Judd falls on a knife and dies. And then they host a quick 5-minute trial for Curly and decide that he is not guilty of murder by merit of self-defense. And then everybody rides off into the sunset, and it's a grand old time. If none of that made sense, just, it's about 2 sets of lovers and their trials and travails in the state of Oklahoma. That's the big takeaway that you should have. All right, now to the fun, interesting factoids about this production. They shot this film over 107 days. It was a 9-month shoot. It was before actors' unions were a thing, and they could make them work for nearly 24 hours. They filmed in Arizona during the rainy season because they wanted pretty cloud formations. Every day they would put the film that they had captured in the limousine to go back to Hollywood. A couple times, because they were filming in the rainy season, the limousine got washed away and they lost all the footage, so they had to refilm entire sections of stuff. Everything was filmed on location except for a few scenes that were done on the back lot at MGM. Gloria Graham, the actress who played Ada Winnie, she was tone deaf. They stitched her performance together note by note. Let me tell y'all about how Shirley Jones got this role. She was on her way to college. She wanted to be a veterinarian, but she stopped in New York to see a friend. It just so happened that Richard Rodgers' casting director was having open auditions for their shows down the street. The casting director liked her so much that he called over Richard Rodgers, who was across the street rehearsing with his orchestra. Rodgers came over, loved her, called Hammerstein. They both came, listened to her, took her across the street to sing with the entire symphony. Signed her to a contract basically right then and there, and she was the only person that they ever did that with. A year later, she was in Oklahoma. She was only 18 when she did this film. It was her first time doing anything. So I will be back next week with yet another Rodgers and Hammerstein production. I bought a box set, so I got 6 of these things to get through. Next week, we're watching The King and I. Don't forget to like, click, and comment, and subscribe. I don't know, whatever the YouTube spiel is. Press the buttons down below.